Welcome to Livingston, our podcast where we invite local businesses, people, and organizations to talk about what they are giving to our community.
As real estate professionals with the Putkela Group, we bring valuable insight into the local market and community every week.
Thanks for listening, and welcome to Livingston. Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast. My name is Don Putkela.
And I'm Angela Putkela, and we're with the Putkela Group Real Estate Professionals. And this podcast has been brought to you by Jim Paquette at Lake Michigan Credit Union. We appreciate their support.
We very much do. And Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year! Yeah, 2026.
This is very exciting. We are back for another episode. It is a new year, and we're just so looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For those listening, maybe haven't heard our podcast before, we are very Livingston County focused. We interview a lot of the small businesses and causes of the county that make it so special. But from time to time, we have episodes with just us. And even though we're realtors, sometimes we even have real estate episodes, but a lot of it is just still very Livingston County based.
Yes, and Livingston County is a great community. There are so many local businesses, events, causes that we highlight. So during the year this year, you're just going to see tons of businesses and events that we're going to be talking about. And we have over 170 episodes that they can go back to see a lot of the businesses. But with it being New Year's, we wanted to talk about just, the new year and what's going on in the county.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Why don't you start us up?
Well, with it being New Year's, I just wanted to mention to everybody out there, if you are working on your New Year's resolutions, I've always felt that New Year's resolutions are important. It does not have to be New Year's to have a reset, right? But since it is New Year's and it is such a cultural thing, why not, right? So, if you're thinking about your New Year's resolutions, I always think it's important to write them down. I actually put them on a mirror so I can look at them and just have that refocus and that reset.
Yeah.
Right? Being able to say, okay, this is what's happened in the past. It's done. It's over with. I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Put it behind you.
Because it already happened. This is what I want my future to look like. Now let's put a plan in place to get there.
Yeah.
And to be actively working on that, you actually have to think about it. So if you write it down, again, you're internalizing it, right?
Yeah.
You put it on the mirror. You put it in front of you. You're keeping a journal, which way you're doing it, right?
Right. Everybody's different.
You're looking at it and you're actively working towards a goal, and you're resetting yourself. And maybe 2-3 weeks down, you're like, okay, how has this been working out? What changes do I need to make? Working forward. I know you use a great scorecard.
Yes. No, that really comes in handy. That's been a tool that I've used that keeps me on track. And I personally always feel like New Year's is kind of my big one time of the year that I take this deep breath of just like, okay, let's begin. I don't know what this year has in store, but I have high hopes for great things. And let's finally get to some of the things I keep wanting to do or be or accomplish or any of that.
Right, exactly. I mean, I have a strong belief that you manifest your own future.
Yeah.
So if you want a great 2026, don't say I want a great 2026. Say 2026 is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And then just manifest that.
Make it so.
Go make it so. But one of the things I wanted to mention before we talk about what's on tap for Livingston County in 2026, since so many people, they have their year end, taxes are coming up, all of those things. Maybe they're starting to think about donating items.
Right.
Spring cleaning is going to be coming up in a little bit. So since we're talking about we're going to talk about what's on tap for Livingston County. If you are doing that winter clean out, or you're looking at donations, or you're prepping for taxes, all those sorts of things, we have some great places to donate locally. La Casa is amazing. You can do donations there. Habitat for Humanity has a resale shop right on Grand River. You can do donations there. They'll take furniture, and the Salvation Army. So there's 3 places.
Some of these places do have rules behind accepting furniture, though. So definitely check their website.
Yes. And they have a list also of items that you can and can't bring to them
Yeah.
and hours for donations. But I always want to mention, since some people look at New Year's as a reset and they're looking to donate stuff, get rid of stuff and everything, why not mention those 3 local organizations that we have that's able to take items?
Yes. Yes. And they're good organizations, and they're definitely ones that we do like to support.
Exactly. So as we look at today's episode with just the 2 of us, we're thinking about ideas for New Year's, and what better thing than to highlight what's going to be happening in Livingston County in 2026 and what major projects are ongoing or starting out.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. So the first thing I wanted to mention is just overview the festivals.
The festivals. Yeah, the festivals are a big deal in our area.
They're huge.
Yeah.
They are huge. So, the first one I wanted to mention is Balloon Fest. Before we ever lived in Livingston County, I had family that lived out here. What I knew of Livingston County was the Michigan Challenge Balloon Fest in Howell.
Yeah.
They are going to be on their 41st year this year.
Oh my gosh. Wow. It's been going on for a really long time.
Right. And when we moved out here, you were like, oh my gosh, hot air balloons.
Yeah. Oh, it was so exciting. Like, even in the days leading up to the festival, a lot of them would be practicing. And I just still remember the strange noise from outside. And we just heard, like, what is going on? And we opened the shades, and here came this huge hot air balloon, like from behind the trees behind our house, and it just came up, and it was really remarkable. And what place can you be that there's hot air balloons around? So Livingston County is very special. Yeah.
So the last week of June is usually the Balloon Fest.
Yep.
Right. We have Taste of Brighton, which is an amazing festival in downtown Brighton on
Great Eats.
Great Eats, yeah. So I always love that where they close down. The Fowlerville Fair is amazing. They have the Demolition Derby out there. They have the fairgrounds. There's the 4-H out there. It's a great festival that people love to go to.
Yeah. Speaking of in June, that Heartland Polo Classic, we've often talked about going to something like that. We've heard that that's a lot of fun. And
yeah, I've always wanted to see a polo match, and they wear the big hats and everything.
Yeah.
For the ladies and all that, so that is really good. The Melon Fest is amazing.
Yeah, that's kind of by the end of the summer.
It is, but before, that is kind of by the end of the summer. But yes.
Yeah, before that, the Brighton's 4th of July parade, that's a big deal. That is a very big parade. It's probably the biggest parade in the whole
county?
The whole county and the whole year almost. It feels, maybe not, because some of these winter ones that we'll touch on are probably just as big. It's just,
right.
Maybe because the weather's not warm.
Well, and I love the 4th of July parade, and then they have the duck run before that, and then they have the ducks that go through the mill pond and everything during that. So that is a great parade as well. We have the Hamburg Family Fun Fest.
That's a big deal.
Which is a really big deal.
And then as we get into the end of the summer to the early fall, we hit your Smokin' Barbecue Blues Fest, right?
Yeah, I've always liked that one.
Yeah.
I love that. So, and there's so many different things, if we're looking at festivals and we're looking at things, remember they have the car show and music in downtown Brighton. They have the
concerts
at the courthouse every Friday during the summer in downtown Howell. And there's just so many local festivals and things that are happening throughout the year. So as you're planning 2026.
Isn't it like food truck
Thursdays?
And that's...
There's a food truck rally in Howell, too. And then Pinckney has 3 or 4 of them a year, and Pinckney has an art fest as well.
Yeah. Oh, and Heartland, the Heartland Art in the Park.
Yes,
that's a big deal in the summer as well.
Right. So there's a lot of local festivals and a lot of things that are happening, and that's not even counting once you get into winter next year, which we're not even going to think about it because we're in the dead of this winter. But we have the Festival of Lights Parade.
Yeah.
And, there's the
Legend of Sleepy Howell.
Yes.
But then also Fowlerville has that their parade that, has some of the hot air balloons and
Right. And exactly. And then Hell has a
Hearst Fest.
Fest, which I've never been to, but there's so many great things. But as you're prepping for 2026,
Yes.
and you're leaving the county to take all of these vacations, right?
Yeah.
And you're going up north, and you're going to other places. Remember all the amazing things that are happening in the county, and invite people to come to us.
That's a great suggestion. I love that. Your family, your friends. If you, have any friends that are out of state that are thinking of coming to Michigan, may as well bring up when some of these festivals are. This could be a fun thing to bring them to.
Exactly. And if we go back to the Balloon Fest for a second, they have the glow that's amazing, where you can go there at night and they light up all the balloons and everything. But if you're getting up early in the morning, come down to the high school when the actual challenge is happening. The idea of the Balloon Fest is all of these balloons are coming and they have a challenge where they're trying to hit a target. So they start miles away from the high school and they're trying to throw a beanbag on an X early in the morning. Yeah. And as each balloon comes in, there's an announcer that tells you, this is the balloon and this is the pilot and this is who's sponsoring it. And they'll talk about where they came from. And then you get to see each of them come down and back up. So it's a great event if you get up at 6 a.m. and go do it.
Yeah. I think we just did it once, right? Once or twice?
Yes, we did. Once or twice.
But it was well worth doing.
Yes. Today's episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast is brought to you by our valued sponsor, Jim Paquette with Lake Michigan Credit Union. He is a trusted mortgage lender who has lived and worked in our community for many years. Jim Paquette is dedicated to helping our neighbors achieve their homeownership dreams and is proud to support the local businesses that make our area special. Now let's dive back into the stories of the incredible entrepreneurs we are featuring today.
There are some interesting major projects happening in the county now that aren't the regular festivals.
Yeah, so I had a list of some of them that I wanted to go through. The first one is the Howell Outdoor Ice Rink and their gathering space down there.
Yeah.
If you are going through Howell and you're coming up Michigan Avenue, just north of Grand River by the train depot there, you can see them building the ice rink right now.
Yeah.
It will be opening up.
Coming.
It is. It'll be opening up sometime, hopefully during the summer, maybe early spring. The farmers market is going to move over there. And then you're going to have an ice rink next winter.
Yeah.
There's going to be a fire pit. You're going to be able to rent ice skates. You're going to be able to go get hot cocoa. It's going to be amazing.
Downtown. Yeah. And then visit those restaurants after or go to some of those shops. What a fun and unusual thing to do right there in the community.
Yep. I know you're excited about the next one.
Oh, my goodness. Again, long time coming, the Howell Opera House, which, by the way, I don't know if anyone realizes that it's the Livingston Arts Council that's in charge of the Howell Opera House. That's their project. That's their thing. And they're finally opening the second floor. So all this time, they've had all their events and everything on the first floor. We've had the opportunity to see the second floor on the field trip that the kids get to go on, I think in second grade or whatnot. But that's up until now, that's been the only opportunity we've ever had to go upstairs. And that's what the real opera house is, right? And so it's our understanding that this is the year that they're actually reopening it as an opera house.
Yes, they're actually having auditions right now for their first opera. It's going to be Pirates of Penzance. They don't have a date yet, but it's going to be coming up this year. They're going to be having 3 or 4 live events up there that you're going to be able to get tickets to. I'm going to figure out how to get tickets to Pirates of Penzance because I'm very excited about it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I had heard anyway that the significance of Pirates of Penzance is that was the first performance that happened when it was first built.
Yes. Like in the late 1800s.
Yes, yeah. So it's been a hot minute.
And if you've never been up there, when you guys get to see it, it is amazing. It's
beautiful.
got the big U-shaped balcony.
Yeah.
It's all wood up there, and I haven't been up there in years, and I know they've been working on it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a small, intimate opera house.
Right. But it's such a great venue.
And what an amazing thing to have in the county.
Yes.
So that's going to be opening back up in 2026. So we are extremely excited about that.
Now, the next one is for some of those car aficionados.
Yeah, so the Motorsports Gateway in Howell, they had a soft opening in September 2025. So if you've been on the freeway between Howell and Brighton, it is just to the north of 96. But they are going to have a track there. They're going to be having car condos.
Like a racetrack.
Right.
And what is a car condo?
Well, a car condo is it's a garage for your sports car to have there to work on it. You know, you're not living at it, right?
Right.
But they're building those that they're going to be leasing, or you can own those. But their plan is to bring restaurants back in there, to have entertainment back there. You know, the Motorsports Gateway is a private track, but I know they're planning on doing a few charity events a year. We're hoping to get them on the show in 2026, but that's going to be continuing to be built and potentially opening up in 2026. Like I said, they had a soft opening, but it's one of those things that I just wanted to get out there to let people know that, hey, there's construction happening there. Regardless of how you feel about it, it's being built there. It's going to be bringing money into the community.
Yeah.
And there's going to be an opportunity for people that, hey, if they want that, it's a resource.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially there's a lot of sports car guys around and gals.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. Now, how about up in Heartland?
Yeah. Heartland is, we're going to get a Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, this will be the first Chick-fil-A inside the entire county.
It'll be the first one in the county. As we all know, when a Chick-fil-A opens up, it has long lines. There are a lot of chicken shops up in Heartland.
There are.
You know, I've been to the one that Shaq owns up there. Has great chicken, but there's a lot of chicken shops in the county. But we're getting a Chick-fil-A, which is it's a big deal that it's actually showing up. So wanted to at least mention to people out there, because I know there's been talk about, is it coming, is it not coming? Last I heard, it is coming. They haven't broken ground yet, but I'm anticipating it opening up in 2026. So that is really good. One of the things in terms of, we are realtors, so we're always looking at housing and everything that's going up. Yep. You will probably seen on Grand River at Door Road between Howell and Brighton that they've broken ground. People keep asking, you know, what are they building there? Mm-hmm. Those are apartments. So they've cleared the land. There's going to be a lot of apartments there. Yep. So it's going to be another option for people for.
Well, and it's a good location. And, you know, in a lot of cases, people really like apartments. They want something to be able to access Livingston County here.
Exactly.
In terms of construction, we've obviously, I-96 has been under construction for some time. After
winter here, we're going to have what I'm calling kind of phase 2 of construction on 96 at Grand River in Brighton. Remember last year they closed down they rebuilt the westbound side.
Okay.
So now they're going to be rebuilding the eastbound side. Yeah. So we'll switch over to the other side as we go, right? They'll probably have some exits that are closing because of that. Right. Same thing in Howell. Remember they closed down. If you were going eastbound, you couldn't get off at Latson, right? Yeah. So potentially they'll be closing down the other way. Yeah. So this summer they'll stay tuned for a lot of road work, unfortunately. But once everything's done years from now, it's going to be so much better. Well, you know, I'm really looking forward to when it's completely done at Grand River in Brighton. Yeah. Because anyone that's for years, you know how stopped up it gets underneath the freeway. 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. The anticipation is when this is done, that won't be an issue anymore. Right. So that'll be really nice. You know, it's been a long time coming. We just have to live with the construction till the construction's over, and then we get the benefit of what they took care of. Right. So just anticipate that, you know, anticipate having to go through Main Street again in Brighton to get to the freeway potentially. Yep. We're in Michigan. You know, one of the other things I wanted to talk about, people keep asking questions about it. So in downtown Brighton, if we remember, Fifth Third Bank moved from North Street onto Main Street. Right. And they built a building there. the 3-story building that's going to have some nice businesses in it. I know there's going to be a Japanese restaurant on the top floor eventually when that opens up. So that'll be really nice. But the space behind it, where Fifth Third Bank was that they tore down,
right,
they're going to be breaking ground on apartments back there.
Okay.
As of the planning meeting in July of 2025, it looks like they had preliminary approval for it being 5 stories.
Okay.
The nice thing is they're going to be adding parking.
And I know people were kind of upset at how many apartments, but it sounded like there was X number of apartments that were going to happen anyway. But the good part with it being a little bigger is that parking.
Yeah, 411 parking spaces.
Okay, and that's huge. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I have a lot of trouble finding parking in downtown Brighton there.
Yes. So, I mean, some people, they're not happy about more development coming down there. You know, I know it will be nice for the local businesses in terms of on Main Street of having a little bit more traffic. You know, we all want sustainable growth. We all, you know, responsible. We look at our city councils, our local government to help out to make sure it fits with our plan.
Right, to keep the culture of our Livingston County. That we love the small town feel so much. I think that's everyone's fear, is that we would lose that.
Exactly. But it's going to be called Allure on North Street. And we just wanted to give an update of what we know.
Right. And we don't know if there's any retail or not, right?
We don't know yet. I know they were going back and forth on whether there's going to be retail on the main floor. When I was looking up stuff on this, I couldn't find which way it was. I know it's still going through the planning commission, but I know that it's been at least preliminary approved, and it's going forward.
And there should be parking that's available to...
Yes.
Like public parking, not just for the apartments.
Not just for the apartments. So we're looking at that, which is...
But that's certainly a in process.
And
subject to change and all of that.
But remember, being involved locally and going to these planning commissions meetings and listening to what's happening is when you get to learn about these things, and you also get to use your voice.
Right. So your voice can be heard. So if you are unhappy with something... because I know that there's definitely been a lot of grassroots outpouring on some of these initiatives, in terms of growth in the county and you know, trying to make sense of what's going to keep our county the way we want it.
Exactly. Right. Which is really important.
So Middletown Market is under construction right now, right?
It is. So Middletown Market on Grand River, on the south side of Grand River between Howell and Brighton. If you've gone by it, you can see it's under the construction. That's where Electric Ramen was as well, before Electric Ramen moved to Brighton.
Still around, but it's...
Still around, yep. So that is under construction. We're getting a Colasanti's Market and Butcher Shop. They have a location up in Highland.
Okay.
So they're opening up their second location. So that's going to be really nice because, you know, that's a great location there, but you're going to be going in there to get fresh meat, fresh produce. You know, they have a deli inside. So that's going to be opening up here in the spring.
Very good. Well, that'll be really nice.
It'll be nice.
And speaking of coming from other places, there's a second location that was up in Holly.
Yes, so that's Bittersweet Cafe.
Yeah.
So Bittersweet Cafe is under construction right now in downtown Howell, where Chinese Delight was. So Chinese Delight right next to Dragonfly Emporium.
Yep.
So if you're driving down there right now during the winter, you'll see that they have construction barriers in front up while they're building that out. Yeah. But we're going to have a nice new cafe.
Yeah, what do we know about Bittersweet Cafe?
we know that
We've
they have
seen the menu.
Yes, we have.
This is why I'm so excited.
So great sandwiches.
Yeah.
Great salads.
Yeah.
Breakfast.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
So you're going to be...
And that building, if I remember right, had like 2 or 3 stories to it. Like it was a big building.
That is a 3-story building. I don't know what they're doing, but I know that had a full bar that wasn't being used on the second floor.
Interesting.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. I'm hoping that it's a 2-story restaurant when they're done.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're hoping we'll have to see. We've never been to it before, but
we're going to be checking it out.
As realtors, so next time we're up in the Holly area, I can promise you we are going to be swinging by the Bittersweet Cafe because that's the original, and this is a second.
It's location number 2.
Yeah.
which is very cool. And for those that like chain restaurants, we are getting Chipotle on Latson Road. You know where
Is it Chipotle?
Chipotle.
Like, I don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
But you know we have a few too many car washes in the county if you listen to social media. So one of the most recent car washes is on Latson Road, right across from a Walmart. And just south of that is where they're putting the Chipotle in.
You
Well,
know?
the nice thing is that there's always growth happening. And if you're reading the Livingston Daily, if you're going to WHMI for news, if you're just looking online, you can see what's happening. And if, again, you're going to the Genoa Township meetings or the Brighton or the other ones, you can hear about it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I remember years ago when the Panera Bread opened up in Howell, right? I'd been going to meetings at that time because I was on the HOA board for our old subdivision. So I've been going to the township meetings. And I remember they went through 3 or 4 different renderings of what the front of it was going to look like because the township didn't like it.
Yeah, they kept kicking it back.
They kept kicking it back, right? So if you're ever interested in that kind of thing, it's interesting to see what's coming.
Yeah, get involved.
Right?
Yeah,
One of the other things I wanted to mention to jump back to the major festivals, I don't know if it's happening, but we've been lucky every year for the last 3 or 4 years to have the farm tour come for like Luke Bryant.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if it's coming again in 2026, but keep your eyes out there to see if they're coming or if somebody else is coming to get some of these outdoor concerts that people are just loving.
Out on the farm.
Exactly.
Fun experience.
But what I wanted to touch on really quick here at the end of the episode is we are realtors.
Yes.
We own our own brokerage, the Putkela Group. I wanted to talk about what to expect in 2026 for real estate.
Yes.
I think 2026 is going to be a really good year for real estate. And I think that for a number of reasons. One, interest rates are finally starting to tick down.
Finally.
The Fed lowered the interest rates their last 2 meetings. I'm expecting to see a couple more interest rate cuts in 2026. But with the interest rates ticking down, it's helping boost the market a little bit.
Right.
And it's making housing more affordable for those people that have been sitting on the sidelines, that are first-time buyers or that have been in a rental that now want to purchase.
Right.
Okay, so I think that's really good. Our inventory is expected to increase a little bit.
But it sure has been so tight for so long.
It has been.
That to me is more the wild card.
Right.
The hope is as it opens up, so often we do help people when they're buying and selling at the same time. We do that very, very seamlessly. But once the interest rates really got up, we saw less of that. A lot of it were people entering into the housing market or exiting.
Right.
But in the past year here, we have seen more people shifting to purchase and, to buy and sell. And if this continues to happen, then that should open up more inventory as people are just looking for someplace to go. And as they leave, they put their house up on the market, and that opens things up.
No, it really does. When those interest rates tick down and then all of a sudden people are able to move up or move down to get into a house that better suits where they're at now,
right?
It really helps.
Yeah.
Broaden the base across.
Yeah.
Right? Looking at values, in our mind, we're kind of expecting values to be stable. So if we go back in time, into the Wayback Machine, and we look at 2020 to 2023, 22 values were just like skyrocketing. It was ridiculous. Double-digit growth every year, right?
Yeah.
In 2025, our growth was small.
Yes, it was like 3% when I looked.
3%, right?
Which is very, very stable. There's other markets. If you read a lot of national news or what they're saying about real estate, certainly in places like Florida, Texas, California,
Arizona,
those values are decreasing.
Right.
Quite notably, in fact. That's definitely more of an extreme. The good news is we're a little calmer than those areas.
Right. I would say the value of your house is more dependent now on the quality of your house and what you've done to it.
Fair. You're right.
Yeah.
Because you could end up not losing money, but if your house really is in poor need of repair, you're not going to get people overpaying for it anyway, like
Right.
you were just a couple of years ago.
Right. But if you've been doing the improvements to your house and taking
Yeah.
care of your house, then you're seeing some increase because you're putting that time and sweat equity into your home.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, again, that is an important determinant at this point into that. Right.
Right.
You know, and one of the things I wanted to say is for people that are looking to buy and sell, I think this is a good year for a number of reasons. But one of the things is with those interest rates tending to tick down a little bit,
Yeah.
it's not that leap that it was a few years ago. When we had interest rates at 7.5%, you had these people that were locking in at, they were at 3.25%, maybe under 3% on their mortgage. And the mental of like, I can't go from, 2 3/4 to 7.5. Right. But now if you're going from 3 to 5, 3 to 5.5, 3.5 to 5.5, it's not as big a deal.
It's not as big a deal because now we're finally well under the 7s and into kind
the
of
6s. Right.
But that's something that varies greatly and will continue to change and so forth. But know that it's less important to get caught up in what the interest rate itself is versus what is your monthly payment is more relevant, because a lot of people are sitting on equity because they have been in their home through some of these double-digit increases. But it also, remember, it's important to have a realtor that knows what they're doing because houses aren't selling quite as quickly. But there's opportunity, and you can achieve your real estate goals in the new year here.
Right. Well, in 2025, we had a couple transactions where we were the second realtor that they were using, where they had a realtor that wasn't serving them well.
Correct.
Right? Where for one reason or another, either they weren't able to find a house or they weren't able to sell their house, right?
Right.
So then they came to us from a personal referral.
Right, from a past client.
From a past client.
Our past clients do tend to recommend us greatly, and that's where most of our business comes from, by the way. There's a lot of realtors out there. Some realtors pay for leads. Nothing wrong with it. If they're just, buying your name and number off of something, that's a different way of doing business than for us who really we're referral based.
Right.
Our past clients use us over and over again. They recommend us to their friends and family, and that's the business that we've built.
Exactly. And I would say, there's a ton of great realtors out there. You want to vet the person that you're working with. You want to know that they are reputable, that they're good people,
fit for you.
that they're a good fit for what you're looking for.
Right.
That the personalities mesh up.
Right.
Right.
But also the experience, because sometimes this is a side hustle for somebody. Maybe they can't answer the phone and take phone calls during the day and so forth. And if you're expecting someone to get back with you right away or expecting things to really be on top of things, because in some cases, if you're making an offer, you need to be available. If it's a competitive situation, right? That's something to be aware of.
It is.
And even if you're a buyer and it is a competitive situation, find out from that realtor, how do they do in those settings?
Exactly. So, looking at 2026, things can change. You never know what's going to happen out there. But as of right now, we're looking at it being a strong year. We think it's going to be a good year for real estate. I think there's going to be opportunities.
Right. Well, and for buyers that have really gotten burned out over these last several years, I think this is the year for them.
I think so too. And for sellers, if you've been in your house and you're like, now may be the time to start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's opportunity out there and you want to be in a house that works for where you're at today and where you're headed tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if you've been in a house 4 or 5 years, you may be looking at the fact of, do I move or do I renovate? Do you think it's worth it? What do you think I should be doing? And we'll just give you our opinion. We've talked people out of moving, and we've talked
when it didn't make sense.
When it didn't make sense, right? So we just give an honest opinion.
Yeah, it all depends. It's funny. We ran into an old acquaintance the other day, and it was interesting because they sold their family member's home that had passed away. And they were all excited because they had dumped so much money into this house, told us all the things that they did. And we knew that it was an area that just sold really well. Like, oh my gosh, it sold so fast. Like, it would have sold fast even if you hadn't dumped all that money in.
Right. So
Like it's talking to a professional that knows what they're doing can really save you a lot of money as well.
right, it can set you up for success.
Yes, I like that.
Right. And it's all about having a plan in place. And it's never too early to talk to someone.
Right.
You know, we have clients that I'm talking to that might be selling in a year or 2 years.
Right.
Right.
And in general, getting a referral from a friend or family member, who did they use? Who did they like? Interview that person. Those are great examples because, again, you said it yourself, there are such great realtors in our county that are from all these different brokerages. We frequently get together. We all have great relationships with one another. And I feel confident in any number of realtors that are close that will be able to take care of people out there.
Right.
You know?
No.
So, but definitely that would be my best recommendation is to, make sure someone's had a good experience.
Exactly. So, and also back to all those major projects and everything, you know, we never know exactly what projects are going on, but your realtor should sometimes have an inkling. So if you're looking at vacant land, it's a good thing to ask and say, hey, what do you know that's going on around here?
Right.
You know, what do you know that's coming in or not coming in? Because these are important questions to ask. You know, are there any assessments coming up? Right. You know, all of those things. So just having the right person. But I think 2026 is going to be an amazing year for real estate. And I think it's going to be a great year for Livingston County.
I do too.
You know, we've got some great projects wrapping up. Obviously, there's going to be new projects on the horizon. We have so many amazing festivals, reasons to get out and support our community. Check out some of our previous episodes of all the things happening. You know, we talked about the Howell Opera House finally having live events on the second floor again. But don't forget that we have such an amazing art scene in Livingston County. If you are looking to go out and see live plays, live musicals, you know, we have amazing opportunities in just about every town.
Even live bands at some of the restaurants that you might go to on a weeknight.
Right. Not to mention trivia too.
Yes. Trivia nights are good too. But know that just get out there because if you live in Livingston County or if you're spending time here from working here, this is such a great place. And rather than going directly to home and back, going to work and back or whatever, get out there, you know, be part of this fantastic community that even though it is growing, it is keeping this very special culture of just, you know, Midwestern friendly people, small town feel, run into people, you know, it's such a great place to be.
Exactly. And if you are out at these festivals, if you're out at these farmer markets and you see us, please say hi.
Yes, please do.
We love talking to our former clients. We love meeting local businesses. We'd love to meet
listeners. Yeah.
Yes. So it's a great thing and just enjoy it. You know, speaking of live bands, the Barbecue Blues Fest has some amazing bands.
That's true.
They had live music at the Taste of Brighton last year that was really good too.
Yeah. So there's cool things going on. This is the place to be. Livingston County.
Yes. So thank you guys so much for listening. We hope that you have an amazing 2026. Please check out our episodes coming up. We are so looking forward to what we're going to be able to bring you this year and to share with you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. Hoping to do bigger and better things, even more now in the next year here, because we will be having our 200th episode. So we're going to have to do something special for that.
That's right.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yep. So thank you guys so much for listening and welcome to Livingston.